Hello, and welcome to whatever the fuck today is. For a long time throughout my life, I have thought that I may have ADHD or ADD or something along the lines of some hyperactive, whatever the fuck they're classified as. I thought that I potentially have been dealing with that to some extent. I've been thinking about it a little bit more recently, and I watched a video about someone talking about it, and every time that I learn more about it, I basically feel like I have it. What we are going to do is we are going to be taking some ADHD tests. Pretty much exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna take a bunch of tests in order to maybe see if I have it. I've already taken this one, and I'm not gonna tell you the results, but I'm just gonna hop on through it real quick. I have poor attention to detail. I often make small mistakes. I skim read. I rush things. I do skim read. I do rush things. I mess up dates. Kind of. I pick up on a lot of little things, but I will say I do a lot of these things, so I'm gonna say yes. I am easily distracted. Yes. This is why I have two monitors actually, is so that I can be doing one thing on one monitor and then hop over and do another thing on the other monitor and kind of move back and forth. The movement actually helps me to get more stuff done. I often tune out during long conversations. This is something so I'm a good listener where I'll pick up on everything that somebody says, but I will be thinking about other stuff throughout the whole time. So I'll switch back and forth, and I hate that I tune out so bad, but I tune out really fucking bad. I didn't read the rest of it, but oh well. This isn't true. I feel like I do pretty well with this. I do struggle to stick to routines, schedules, or plans. Oh, if any of these apply to you, then yes. I'm just gonna spend this whole episode with my finger in my mouth, apparently. I have trouble organizing my work or home life. My to-do lists feel overwhelming. I often procrastinate, unsure where to start. Yes! I struggle with jobs and demand focus for a long time. I struggle with jobs that demand focus for a long time. I dislike routine, repetitive tasks. I hate paperwork, but when I'm finished, no. But when I'm interested, I'm super focused. Yes, if I am interested in something, then I will get really focused on it and I will zone in really well. I don't dislike routine or repetitive tasks. Oh, but any of these. I do struggle with stuff that demands focus for a long time. I often misplace my phone keys. Okay, so something that I do is I will choose a specific spot to put my stuff so that I don't lose it, because on multiple occasions, gone out into the field or something like that, and I've had to carry my water bottle around with me all the time, and I will lose my water bottle so fucking much, it's ridiculous. But the thing is, I'll find it because I'll trace it all the way back to, okay, this is the task to where I knew that I had my water bottle last, and then I'll follow the stuff out that I did after that. I'm easily distracted by conversations, noises, or activity around me. I'm often lost in a thought, one idea after another, imagining ideas or situations. So smart but a bit absent-minded. I'm a daydreamer. Yes. I don't know why my finger is right here this whole time. I am forgetful. I often lose track of what I was supposed to be doing. I'm bad with dates, names. I'm horrible with names. I'm not bad with appointments really, just because I have really bad anxiety over missing something. I don't know if I should say yes or no to this. I'm gonna say no to this. Do any of these. Oh. I fidget, tap my foot, doodle, or shift in my seat to help focus. During my YouTube videos, I am probably some of the most still. Like when I'm speaking and I'm sitting in a chair, I am probably the most still that I ever am, because of the fact that I'm doing something. But like you could even see earlier, like I was tapping on my lip, or I'm doing stuff with my hands to keep focused. And yes, I feel the need to get up and move. I pace when I'm on the phone. Yes, I wish I could pace during meetings. I haven't put much thought into it. Maybe, my finger's on my mouth again. Maybe pacing during meetings would help. I think I have to say yes. I'm not exaggerating any of this shit. By the way, I'm not I'm not just being a personality or something like that. Like, this stuff is like exaggeration, right? But like, I'm not exaggerating what I'm saying. My mind is always going. Falling asleep is difficult? Yes. I'm curious, always on the next idea or interest? Yes. Seeking novelty? Yes. I have a lot of different jobs and moved around more than most people. I have moved around, but that wasn't exactly my choice. Not all of these may resonate, but yes. Okay, sure. We're moving through this a lot slower than I would like. I find it hard to unwind and relax. Small talk is boring, love new things, then get bored and change them up to make fun. I often rush new things. Yes. Well, no, yes. It often seems like I'm on the go, driven by a motor until I crash, getting one hobby after another. When something interests me, I am totally immersed, enthused, wanting to know everything. I stopped what I was doing to shoot this video because I was really interested and I wanted to shoot this video. That's all. Talkative is almost synonymous with rambling. Blurting out. I'm full of ideas. Blah, 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 blah. But yes, I do kind of. I hate long lines in stores, drive-through windows, or the ATM. I don't mind drive-through windows. Kind of. In-N-Out has near me has this thing where they have like up to 5-hour freaking wait lines. I would never. Fuck that, dude. This is the one that I said no to in the past and I'm going to say no to now. I am very patient. I am very fucking patient. But I think that's something that has been drilled into me is being able to wait. And I know that I've waited longer before for less. So it's okay for me to wait. I don't care just about the highlights. I like knowing the whole thing. Slow travel, yeah, I'm gonna say no to this. Interrupting and intruding on others. I tend to interrupt people who feel the need to add my 2 cents. I'll answer questions before the person is finished. Yes. You scored 17 of 18. 8 on combined inattentive questions. Your score suggests inattention is a problem for you. Your answer suggests that you may have the combined subtype of ADHD. Yes, this is what it told me before. Last time I got 16 out of 18, and I think it's because of one of the questions where I actually answered yes, and I originally thought it was no, but then reading back through it, it's definitely a yes. So that's the first one. But your score suggests a full assessment by a specialist who understands ADHD might be in order. Yep. Okay, we're just gonna kind of move through this one real quick. I am a 23-year-old male. No. How often do you have difficulty sustaining your attention while doing something for work, school, or hobby? Remaining focused during lectures? Often. How often are you distracted by external stimuli like something in your environment or unrelated thoughts? Often. How often do you avoid, dislike, or reluctantly engage a task that requires sustained mental effort or thought? I'm gonna say sometimes to this just because I'm not opposed to it, but there are some things that I definitely avoid that I shouldn't. How often do you have trouble listening to someone even when they're speaking directly to you, like your mind is somewhere else? I'm always thinking about other stuff. How often do you have difficulty in organizing an activity or task needing to get done? It's becoming worse lately for some reason. How often do you fail to give close attention to details or make careless mistakes in things such as schoolwork, at work, or during other activities? Rarely, actually. How often do you forget to do something you do all the time, such as missing an appointment or paying a bill? Rarely. Do I ever? I'll say rarely. How often do you lose, misplace, or damage something that's necessary in order to your phone, eyeglass? Like I said earlier, if I have a very specific spot, then I won't lose something, and that's why I have a very specific spot. How often do you have trouble following through on instructions or failing to finish schoolwork, chores, or duties in the workplace? I don't know. Oh, actually, this is sometimes. I'll do stuff and then I'll just like stop doing it because I get distracted on something else. How often are you unable to play or engage in leisure activities quietly? I'm gonna say sometimes to this just because like if I'm doing normal stuff, I like to have music. The auditory stimulus actually helps me focus a lot more. How often do you have difficulty waiting your turn, such as waiting in line? I don't have problem waiting my turn. I don't. How often do you feel like you're on the go, acting as if you're driven by a motor? You're unable to be comfortable sitting in an extended period of time, such as in a restaurant or a meeting. I'm gonna say sometimes to that. How often do you leave your seat in situations when remaining seated is expected? I haven't really been in situations where I have to remain seated. I'm gonna say rarely to this. How often do you blurt out an answer before a question has been completed? Sometimes. And my energy is going down, and it's because it's so fucking hot in here, dude. It is so hot. And I can turn the AC on, but if I turn the AC on, this is what it sounds like. How often do you feel restless, like you want to get out and do something? Often. How often do you fidget or tap your hands or feel your squirm in your seat? Often. How often do you find yourself talking excessively? Often. How often do you interrupt or intrude on others, such as butting into the conversation or talking over what others are doing? Often. Were several of the symptoms present prior to age 12? I don't know. Where was I in 12? I want to say 12 was like 5th grade. I talked a lot. Yep. Symptoms were present prior to age 12. Do the symptoms appear in at least 2 or more settings? Home and school. Yes. You scored a total of 38. Based upon your responses to the adult ADHD screening quiz, you have replied in a way similar to people who have symptoms of moderate to severe attention deficit disorder. People who have answered similar to you typically qualify for diagnosis of ADHD or ADHD and have sought professional treatment for this. Okay, moving on. One of these will probably say no, right? Do you tend to avoid or delay getting started on a new important task? Sometimes. Do you find that the majority of your tasks, work, school assignments, etc. are bored or repetitive, making them difficult to complete? Sometimes. Do you find yourself making careless mistakes when engaged in something you feel is boring, repetitive, or difficult? I'm gonna say sometimes. Because I make the mistakes and then I go back and I fix them. How often do you feel restless or fidgety? Very often. Do you regularly fail to remember important? Rarely. Do you have difficulty unwinding and relaxing when you have time to yourself? Often. Do you have difficulty concentrating on people when they're speaking to you? Very often. Do you frequently misplace things or have difficulty finding them? Sometimes. Are you typically distracted or find it hard to focus when there is activity or noise around you? I'm gonna say sometimes. I can't think of. Sorry, there's a train going. Can you hear the train? Probably not. Do you have difficulty waiting your turn in situations where? Never. Moderate indication of ADHD. Cool, moving on. Start test. I agree. Continue. I didn't read those. When you have to sit down for an extended period of time, like at a dinner, you find yourself fidgeting or feeling uncomfortable. Always. You feel hyperactive and like you're on autopilot. Always. You struggle to start tasks that require you to sit down and concentrate for an extended period. Sometimes. You sometimes forget meetings, appointments, or events. Rarely. You struggle to complete tasks or projects, even ones which are nearly complete. Often. This is true. There's a lot of stuff that's nearly complete that I really need to get to that I haven't gotten to. You find it hard to properly organize, plan, or do things in the right order. Rarely. Your result is low risk. Oh, for this one, they don't think that I have ADD, ADHD. Okay. Is it or is it ADHD? What does it say? Oh, it's not gonna, it doesn't tell me. It's not telling me what it thinks. So I guess this is a big old flop. So we got 1, 2, 3 things saying that I probably have ADD, ADHD, and one that says I'm at low risk, and then one that doesn't say anything. Thanks for freaking watching, and what do you think? Based on what I've said, what is your professional opinion on whether or not I have ADHD? Thanks for watching.